Well, here we are. Here's the chicken coop that we built a couple years ago. It's, well, not that big, but the goal is to keep it small so that we can move it around for new grass, pasture to pasture. So what we do is just tow it with the tractor, move it from place to place. And there's two levels, as you can see. There's a top level, and then there's a bottom level. And these windows close and open for air, as well as, we didn't quite finish the whole thing yet, so we don't really have time, but we, these windows are supposed to open up on top too. And here's the nesting boxes where they lay their eggs. There's like shavings and stuff in here, so then they go inside and they sit in here and they lay their eggs. Unfortunately, there's none in here right now, which is kind of odd. Never seen that happen before, but they probably are just hungry at the moment or something. So those are the nesting boxes. Actually, we have 5 of them, but there's only 3 in this portion of it. And then there normally is 2 more inside, but we took them out. So, and then as you can see, the other side is the same thing. There's just 2 windows, and right now we have this cage that's set up so they can move about in the winter, but normally this cage is in here and they just go wherever they want. But we're in the process of putting up a new electric fence, so we don't want any wild animals coming in and having breakfast or supper for that matter. So that's why there's a fence here at the moment, so they can go in and out when they want and get some fresh air. And this is where we used to have the roosters, but we butchered them a couple months ago. And now when the ducks come in spring, we'll have them in here with a pool of water so they can swim around. So that's all for now. I'll give you a close-up and we'll talk more about the chickens, particularly the breeds, and more about their lifestyle. That's all for now. Well, here we are inside the chicken coop, and the two poles up on top are the area which they like to be up high, so they normally go up there when it gets dark and they feel safe, and then they sleep up there, basically standing up there all night until the crack of dawn. Then they do whatever, eat, sleep, lay eggs, and so forth. And in the top corner is the light. In the winter time, the chickens need light so they can have so many daylight hours, otherwise they don't lay eggs. So they're basically they don't ovulate or lay eggs when there's less than 13 hours of daylight or 12 hours of daylight. So we have to give them extra daylight because it's basically a hormone thing. So once they don't get enough vitamin D and so forth, they stop producing eggs. So that's why we use the light mostly in the winter. And as you can see, we just kind of fed them some rations or just extra buns that we have laying around from the baker in town, and he gives them to us for free. And they're good. They can't sell them over a day old, so they eat that and they peck around on them. Otherwise, on the bottom you can see they have that tin feeder, and in there is basically mashed up, ground up feed that they eat in the winter. But and they do eat it in the summer too, but not as much. Basically in there is soybeans, corn, a lot of other stuff, and some vitamins. And then there's their water, which they have. We add, but most of the time, once a week, we'll add vitamins. Hey, and so we'll add vitamins to the water once a week, or at least in the summertime we'll do it like once a month, because then they're out grazing the pasture and they get enough vitamins and nutrients and so forth. Otherwise their eggs sometimes break because they're not getting enough vitamins, nutrients. So most of them are down here for some reason. For right now, I think it's because the door fell down on top. As you can see, they go up and down that door inside, and so And in the back is where they lay their eggs, obviously. And I just put new bedding here, which doesn't look like it, but so. Anyways, the birds on the top here, the brown one is a buff rock, which is basically a golden rock, and then the barred rock, which is black and white, and then yeah, those are 2 rocks. There's 4 rocks, 4 different breeds of rocks. Those are called an American style of breed. They lay the big brown eggs. These guys down here, the white and black ones, and the brown and black ones here, these little guys, they are from Europe. They're the Dutch Lachenvelder and the German Hamburgs. They lay the little white eggs, so the ones that I showed you in the last video, they lay the little white eggs. Most of them do. There's one breed in particular, I can't find it. Actually, it's right there. I don't know if you can see it. He's eating out of the feeder right now. He's like a brown, and he's got like a golden right there, a golden and black neck. That one lays. That's the one that lays like a real dark brown, despite his small size. So the American style breeds lay most often they lay brown eggs. Most of them do, and then that is that. And then the European ones, most of them lay white, because they're, I don't know, they're just, well, not all of them, but they're just smaller, and yeah, I guess they just lay white eggs. But there are some bigger breeds, I can't remember all of them at the top of my head right now, that lay big white eggs, and there's some that lay smaller brown eggs. But for the most part, the brown ones lay bigger eggs and the white ones lay smaller eggs. It basically depends on their size, the size of their egg is. So that is that for now. I'm going to actually collect a bird here and show you some interesting features about the bird. Alright, well, here's the last part of the video. I wasn't able to, well, I was able to catch one, or catch a couple of them, but it's hard to hold on to them, especially with trying to film myself. I have no one else to do this. So I'm just going to finish up here. I don't think I mentioned that we have about 40 chickens in total, and there's about 8 different breeds. 4 of them are rocks, 2 of them are 2 different breeds of Lachenvelders, and then 2 breeds of Hamburgs. But we're in the process of finishing our other coop, getting that ready. So this spring, in a couple weeks actually, we'll have 60 chickens coming and 10 ducks or so. And then these ones will all get butchered, and we'll sell the meat, and the rest we'll probably eat ourselves. So it's just a continuous cycle, the way God created it, with man as the head of it. Anyways, so I'm just going to talk about some parts of the chicken in particular. Let's see here. I'll film this guy here. This guy, you can see obviously his beak. They eat and they drink out of their beak, obviously. Their tail feathers are the feathers in the back here, and you can't cover it up. Right below the tail feathers is the vent, the reproductive organ, where like right in the middle underneath the tail feathers, where they lay their egg. They normally lay it in the during the early morning hours and the early afternoon, depends. They don't always all lay every day. They might like do 5 days a week or something like that. It depends on their stress level and the nutrients they have. Obviously they have 2 eyes, and then they got their ears you can't see on some of them, like this one, but on others, like, let's see, this guy right here, it's the small pink thing on the side below their eye, and the top is basically their, like, not their bill, I can't remember the exact term for it, but it's just basically like their hair, but it's more for like attraction for the rooster. The rooster's attracted by females who have bigger or more ornate ones, but the ones that have the biggest and most ornate are the roosters. The roosters have the much more ornate and bigger haircuts. This pink red thing on the top. I can't remember exactly what it's called right now. But chickens do not have talons. If you think they do, as Napoleon Dynamite asked in the movie, you can look it up on Wikipedia, and you'll notice that they don't have those. So that's about all for now. If you have any questions or if you're curious, you can find most of everything on Wikipedia or some other website. That is all. Thank you very much. Have a great
The old hometown looks the same as I step down from the train, and there to meet me is my mama and my papa. Down the road I love, and there runs Mary, hair of gold and lips like cherries. It's good to touch that green, green grass of home. Yes, they've all come to meet me, arms reaching, smiling sweetly, yes.